Hi, good morning, everyone. How are you today? I hope that you had a great week. Yes, today we're going to continue with the Infinite Lifetime Sutra. I'm Angelina, your host. So, I'm going to continue. Last episode we were talking about the second vow of the Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva, the 10 great vows. So we were at the second vow. It was about the Shenzhen Rulai to praise the Tathagatas or to praise the future Buddha. And at great length, I have explained what does it mean by future Buddha. Okay, it is not just about the Maitreya Buddha, it is not just about the Bodhisattvas, but it is actually every one of us because all of us have a bodhisattva inside. All of us are Buddhas in our ultimate form. Right? Originally, we are all Buddhas, so all of us can become Buddha again. Right? So if you want to have more information or you would like to know what I shared during the last episodes or the episodes before that, you can always look at the other videos. So right now today we're going into the third vow. The third vow says, I vow to make unlimited offerings. 广修供养. Okay, 广修 means unlimited. It is massive. 供养 is dana. Okay, 供养 is offerings. That means earlier I've also spoke about the three types of dana, right? The three types of charity of financial, okay, materials type of charity. That one is 财布施, that means the charity of fortune. Okay, 法布施, the charity of dharma, and 无畏布施, the charity of harmlessness. Right. So we were talking about massive charity. It's not just about being a great person giving out to all kinds of charities or everything. It's not just about that, right? It is different. It's something that is beyond our understanding. Okay. Well, yesterday I was trying to figure out what I should be talking to you guys about. Okay, I must say that you guys are really, really blessed because when I was searching around, I was thinking, how do I best explain to you about this vow, this third vow, 广修供养. Then I just went on Google as usual, then after that I said, how do I explain this? I didn't even put the third vow. I just put the 10 great vows. And what came out was actually a 2-pager. The first page was the 10 vows, and the second page solely explaining the third vow. Okay, so it is some people say, wow, your computer can read your mind. Okay, or it can't be a coincidence. Okay, you guys are very, very blessed because you're watching this video, and this Dharma talk about the Infinite Lifetime Sutra can only reach you if your karma is right. You are going to benefit from it. That's why you're able to reach this video. Okay, so when I look at this, I vow to make unlimited offerings. Let me read what Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva in his original. His original is not our language, okay? His original, it was already translated to Mandarin. And in Mandarin, now I'm going to read to you the English version, okay? Moreover, good men to extensively cultivate making offerings is explained like this, okay? In every mode of dust in all the Buddha lands throughout the 10 directions and the 3 periods of time, exhausting the Dharma room and the room of empty space, there are Buddhas as many as the fine modes of dust in all worlds. Okay, that means it's not just our Gautama Buddha, it's not just Amitabha Buddha, not just Maitreya Buddha, there are also a lot of other Buddhas. Okay, and how fine are dust motes? Usually when you look at all the Dharma talks, right, our Lord Buddha will equate it to the sands of the Ganga River, okay, the Ganges River. If we were to look at all the sands, we are not able to count how many sands are there, but sands are still coarse, right? You can still see sands are still coarse. But when we're talking about dust, okay, the dust that Amitabha Buddha or the Gautama Buddha say over here that dust is not just that kind of dust that we see when we are cleaning our house. Okay, it is beyond that. They're talking about Hui Chen. That Hui Chen is, you can say that it's as fine as the kind of the atoms that we're talking about in science. Okay, it is that fine. So you imagine, even just one book alone, okay, or just this small little microphone that I'm holding over here with my earpiece. How many atoms are there, right? If you can imagine so many atoms grouping into nucleus and then grouping into this material form that we're seeing today, how many atoms are there? That's how many Buddhas there are in this land, and more, because we're only talking about this, right? We're not even talking about this that's so much bigger than this, and then we're also not talking about, okay, so many other things else, the furniture that I have behind me, right? This material that makes up this poster, right? The clothes, right? Every single thing, there are so many dust, most of dust. So that is how many Buddhas there are. In our way of explaining, it is infinite. Okay, remember, this is the Infinite Lifetime Sutra. So we're talking about infinite. It's not something that we can count, not with our human capabilities. We're not able to do that. Okay, so let's continue. Each Buddha is circumambulated by various kinds of seed-like assemblies of bodhisattvas. So every single Buddha is surrounded, okay, by bodhisattvas, that much, as vast as the sea. Remember, every time the reference is to the Ganges River. So as many as the fine dust, as many as there are in the vast sea. You can't count the seas. You can name the seas according to the region, but you can't count every single drop of water in the sea. Okay, because every single drop of water by itself is consist of all the many composition of H2O, for example. Okay, so H2 and O, so there are three, so two H and one O, and every single H and that single O itself can represent the Bodhisattva. So you can imagine, it's so vast, right? It's so many. And then with the power of universal worthies practice and vows, I am to deeply believe in and understand them. I can know and see them all. To each I make offerings of superb and wonderful gifts. That is to say, clouds of flowers, clouds of garlands, clouds of heavenly music, clouds of divine canopies, clouds of heavenly clothing, all varieties of heavenly incense, fragrant balms, burning incense, powdered incense, and clouds of gifts such as these. Each cloud is as large as Sumeru, the king of mountains. So we're talking about charity. You're talking about the vow, about massive charity, about massively giving, you can say donations, or you can say things like offerings. Okay, 广修供养, giving the offerings. So you don't think of your giving of charity to others as a charity, right? It is not a donation, it is an offering. If you were to see every single thing, even like this hair clip, right? If I were to view this hair clip as, with all its atoms inside, all the congregation of everything, even this rubber band I used to tie my hair with, even for this, there are so many, so fine, a lot of Buddhas, and in these Buddhas, there is an entire Buddha universe. And in this entire Buddha universe, there are a lot of Bodhisattvas surrounded by Bodhisattvas. And in all these, right, Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva give his offerings. He offers all kinds of greatness. Okay, we are nothing compared to him. Okay, even if you were to combine all the richest people in the world, or you can combine every single being in this world, all right, to give an offering, it is nothing compared to what Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva gave. Okay, what does he give? He gave the gift of the clouds, the flowers, every single thing, the great things that you can think of. Okay, to every single Buddha in these Buddha lands. And the offering of this is not like no one piece. Okay, it's not like giving one single item, right? Like us, we are mundane. Okay, our offering or giving of donations, right? You see some people they give donations, 100,000 they write a check and then that's it, right? What is 100,000 compared to what the entire universe is, or just 100,000 compared to the amount of money that the world has? Okay, so you can give these offerings, and the thing is that the offerings that Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva gave is as huge as the Mount Sumeru. When you look at the Buddhist text, you will see that there is also the reference, okay, the vastness of the sea, the Ganges River, and then there's also Mount Sumeru, the king of all mountains. Okay, some people refer it to as the Himalaya. Okay, if you just see, okay, if you just imagine how big Himalaya is, okay, you can just imagine Mount Sumeru. If you refer to it, Mount Sumeru, you just give an offering as big as Himalaya. Okay, for those of us, let's say we just look at our local mountains, our local hills. If we were to give our offering as much as that hill, our local hill, is already a lot, right? But if you look at it, the Mount Sumeru, the king of mountains, the biggest of them all, okay, it's as far as your eyes can see. It's as huge as you can imagine, right? So that amount of offerings is that what you have to give. And how do we do that? We just keep offering. What can we offer? We can offer material things. Okay, it's the same three things. We offer material things, we offer Dharma, we offer harmlessness. Okay, even if you were to look at how you're going to offer harmlessness to inanimate objects, how to offer harmlessness to this clip, for example, it's simple. I offer harmlessness to this clip by letting this clip do what it's supposed to do, by not destroying this clip, you know, by not throwing this clip around. You know, some people how they just go around, you know, throwing things when they reach home. It's like you like to watch all those movies where you see other person comes home and then they just throw the bunch of keys on the table and then you just plump stomp onto the chair and things like this. These are causing harm. Okay, you throw the keys on the table, the keys hit the table. Okay, in the action of it, the key and the table have an impact. So when the key and the table have an impact, somehow it leaves a slight dent. Even if you don't see it with your naked eye, it leaves a slight dent on the table surface. And at the same time, it's not just the table surface that's dented, even your keys will experience a little bit of dent. Okay, because you have to imagine, you have to understand, if metal against plastic or metal against wood, wood is more, the atoms that they have are looser than metal. Okay, so when you crash something on it, okay, the impact will cause a slight dent, tiny holes. Okay, because you shifted the atom, right? When you shifted the atom, it does not mean that only one side of it experience it. Both sides will experience it. Even the metal part of your key experiences it. Okay, there will be a slight shift, regardless of whether you can see it or you cannot see it with your naked eyes. There's bound to be a little bit of shift. Right, that is how you create harm to inanimate objects. Okay, so when you're talking about harmlessness, right, you treat your objects with respect. Okay, you put things down properly. You don't throw them. Okay, you put things down properly. You don't misplace them. It's something like you're doing 5S over here. You don't misplace them, you put them at the right place, and then you clean them, you shine them, or at least you take good care of them so that they don't spoil so easily, you know. Let them wear and tear according to their natural life cycle. That is a really big respect, in terms of harmlessness to this inanimate object. Okay, because if you have to look at the logic of it, it is the same as if you allow a being, and something that is alive, to go through the natural cycles of life. Now people are talking about quality of life. They're talking about altering, um, putting extra stuff like vitamins and minerals and everything, because they're trying to make good of something. But if you were to look carefully, right, if you were to allow humans to live naturally, to eat natural foods, to have a balanced meal, instead of like now when you talk about those fast food outlets, right, the majority of thing is actually using meat, and some of the meat have been processed, and these processed meats may include some additives, so these are not natural. If you want to talk about being natural, then you expect that the food is natural. Okay, the way that the food is being planted is natural. The way that the animals are being reared before they are used as food are also raised naturally. And if they're able to die instead of being slaughtered, they will die a natural death upon their old age, right? That was how people, of old, they will think that, oh, this is already old, it's going to die. So that is how things should be. You don't cause harm to another being. Okay, you don't intentionally. Some people, they like to like to eat young animals because it's supposed to be so tender and so juicy. Instead, they skip the process. They slaughter the animal young, right? So when they slaughter something, it causes fear, right? And every single cell in the body of that young animal experiences that kind of fear. So when they experience that kind of fear, it releases toxin, and then when we consume the toxin, regardless of how well we cook it, okay, this toxin will also come into our body. All right, so this is why some people, they will advocate for vegetarianism. Okay, vegetarians can also feel that fear, but they are without that kind of consciousness. They have a kind of consciousness, but they do not hold that kind of grudge. Okay, that kind of karmic um reaction. Okay, they are not reborn by any beings. So they grow by their seeds, but they don't grow by karmic reasons. Okay, so they don't have a soul that will travel with them lifetime after lifetime. Right? Sometimes if you look at some people, they say that when you talk to your plants in a good way, then the plant will grow beautiful as well. So this is the logic of it. This is how it happens, right? A lot of people, they don't understand. They just think that, oh, it's marvelous. Plants can understand what we talk about. But if you have to look at it, every single cell in that plant consists of their own Buddha world, and there's so many Buddha worlds within one single leaf, right? So when you're talking to them, you're putting in good vibes to them. Of course, they will flourish, right? Of course, they will be beautiful, right? So we're talking about the vastness of this, how magnificent this is. Okay, how great this is, something that we cannot count with our computers. If no matter how, if let's say all the people in this world, you take out all your money to build the supercomputers, you will still not be able to calculate how many Buddha worlds there are in the entire existence. Okay, you can't even tell how many universes are there in the entire existence. You cannot, right? So uh I burn all kinds of lamps, but the lamps, oil lamps, lamps of many fragrant oils. The wick of each lamp is as tall as Mount Sumeru. The quantity of oil in each lamp is equal to the volume of waters of the great sea. With all manner of gifts such as these, I constantly make offerings. This is how Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva make his offerings. Okay, you see in the temples, people offer light. Okay, you just imagine the light coming from the candle, the light itself is as huge as Mount Sumeru. It will light up, okay, it will light up your entire world. Disregarding whether it is day or night, it will light up the entire world if your light is as huge as Mount Sumeru. Okay, and then the oil that is used to burn to make that light is as vast as water in the sea, right? You can imagine just how grand this offering is, how much this offering is. And this is what Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva is offering to every single Buddha in that is in every single speck of dust. Okay, every single atom in our modern language, every single atom. So one atom, one Buddha world, one Buddha universe, and the offering is as huge as one Sumeru, as vast as one entire sea. Can you imagine that? So, how great is Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva's offering? Right? We are not able to do this kind of huge offerings. Of course, we are limited. We are mortals, right? But what can we do? Okay, our physical is limited, but our heart is not. Okay, by giving your respect, okay, it's already a giving of an offering. Okay, it is from your heart. You just treat everything as is. Okay, you treat them with the respect that is due to Buddhas. That is how you create your offering. Okay, good man of all offerings, the gift of Dharma is supreme. Okay, three offerings. Materials, just now we are talking about the material stuff. We're talking about the lamp. Okay, with the light as huge, that lamp itself, the fire from that wick itself is as huge as Mount Sumeru, and the oil that is being used is as vast as the water in the sea. Now we're talking about the second offering, second types of offering, three types of offering: materials, dharma, and harmlessness. So the greatest of all offering is the gift of dharma. Okay, if you were to look at our past videos, why is it that I've also explained why the gift of dharma is the best gift in the world? Okay, dharma is something that will teach a person to elevate and to become enlightened and to become a Buddha within this lifetime. If we're talking about the Infinite Lifetime Sutra, that is the biggest offering that you can give to another person. Okay, you can give it materially. If I were to donate to print this book, okay, I would have given the offering of finances. Okay, I pay to have this book printed. Okay, the content is a dharma, right? So I'm offering both money and dharma, and by giving this to another person, I'm also giving the gift of harmlessness, because this one we're talking about infinite lifetime. We're talking about helping them get that kind of life longevity. Not many people are afraid of death. Many people are talking about eating all kinds of nutrients just to extend lifespan. Okay, we're talking about people putting themselves in incubators or on oxygen support during critical times, adding ICU, whatever, just to lengthen the lifespan. Okay, just to help so that there is time for the person to recover instead of collapsing by the overwhelming strength of death. Okay, we're talking about all these things, but what how long can you give the lifespan to a person? 80 years, 100 years? They still need to die, right? So I'm giving this infinite lifetime. Okay, the ultimate gift of harmlessness. I'm giving you an infinite lifetime so that you don't have to die. You don't have to go through the process of death, the painful process of death that will bring you to another painful process of rebirth, the birth and the disease and the old age and the death. You don't have to go through all that. So within one donation of money to print this book, the giving of this book with its Dharma content inside, okay, the Sutra is inside, and to reach the person, you are already fulfilling all three Dharmas. Okay, all three offerings, not fulfilling all three Dharmas, you're fulfilling all three acts of charity, of giving, of offering. Okay, so of all offerings, the gift of Dharma is supreme. That is to say, the offering of cultivating according to the teachings. Okay, now I am sharing with you how. Okay, I'm also giving you examples of how. So I'm sharing with you how you should behave, what kind of mindset you should change, what kind of thoughts that you should have, so that you follow the teachings. Okay, no killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, no intoxicants. All right, if you were to look back at the health in stocks, I actually managed to finish the 10 meritorious deeds. Listen to those again. Okay, then you'll be able to figure out what are the 10 acts that will stop you from going to hell. Okay, if you were to follow them correctly. And then offering of benefiting all living beings, the offering of which gathers in all living beings, the offering of standing in for all beings to undergo their suffering, the offering of diligently cultivating good fruits, the offering of not forsaking the deeds of the Bodhisattva, and the offering of not renouncing the body mind. Okay, these are the Dharma. Okay, the Dharma is not just about teaching you how to the 10 meritorious deeds will let you stay away from hell. But what is beyond that? You will still need to be subjected to animal kingdom. You will still be subject to the ghost stream. You'll still be subject to being humans, being asuras, or being heavenly beings. Even heavenly beings will have the time when their lifespan expires because the karma expires. The karma is being used up, so it expires. Okay, so when we're talking about all this, we're also talking about standing in for other people. You see the suffering, okay? You feel the suffering, and even though you cannot replace them in the suffering, okay, you cannot stand on behalf of them for their suffering. You feel the empathy for them. Okay, you sincerely feel it. It's not just your DEI in modern day human resources. Okay, you really feel it, and then you just wish that this pain will be lesser. This pain will go away. Okay, you pray for that person. That is also an offering. Okay, you teach that person how to get out from that situation. That is also an offering. Right. You stand in for them to be able to help them according to the Dharma. Okay. Don't go about helping people using an evil way. Okay. You go about helping people using the Dharma. Like for example, if let's say you see somebody who has an evil intention, okay, who approaches you with the intention of causing you harm. Okay, like for example, in modern corporate world these days, you approach the person, you're trying to understand what that person sees, you want to steal that person's credit. Okay, this is one form of gaslighting. This is one form of stealing. It is a sin. Okay, that can dive you into hell. Okay, I didn't finish the hell talks because um it goes into the various levels of hell, and there is a hell for people who claim the credit of other people, even at work. You Because you suppress the other people's goodness, you steal the credit for your personal selfish gains. There is a hell for that. Okay, so we don't go into that right now. If let's say there is time for it, then I will continue with the Dhamma talk about hell. But when we're talking about it, okay, you stop the person's evil intentions. Okay, stop the person at his track so that this person will not deviate further to commit further sins. You stop. Okay, you put an end to it. It's not like you will just gladly give that person so that it's satisfied. No, you don't do that. If you gladly give that person so that it satisfies this person's selfish desires, okay, with the intended selfish outcomes, you are only helping this person into evil. Okay, but if let's say the person will learn a lesson from this evil, then go ahead by all means. But if let's say you don't know, you just stop, because you can foresee that if this person not up to that level, you still help this person, and then this person gain the merit, go up the rank, but unable to perform, this person is going to dive straight down. Okay, he's going to fall, right? Either you stop this person from falling, or either you know that after this person fall, I think this person is good enough to learn the lesson, then you go ahead, let this person claim whatever credit, let this person go as high up as whatever that he or she desires, and wait for the fall. Okay, because that fall will wake this person up. Unless that fall is too harsh, this person does not really need that kind of teachings. Okay, you stop so that you don't share what will help this person to achieve that selfish desire. You just stop, you cut it short. Okay, so that this person will learn early on, right? If that doesn't work, then by all means go ahead, just offer so that see this person drop. But that is the way of the Bodhisattva. Okay, you learn along the way, and the Buddha knows exactly how it is, so that what is best for you, it is being done for you. Okay, the Buddha, the Bodhisattva, will not have any other intentions other than to fulfill your Dharma existence, other than to fulfill your karmic friction to achieve enlightenment. Okay, if you see this video, you just look back into your life. What happened in the past? What brought you to where you are today? And you can imagine, right? You think back, you just think back. Every single thing that you have experienced in your life until to this point where you are watching this video right now. Every single thing, without any one of the event, you will not be able to reach where you are today. You will not be able to swipe up to this video, right? You just think about it. I leave it to you. You just think about it, right? I know for sure I went through a lot of things, and then only I come to this day, and then only I am just sharing what I know, sharing what I really experience as the right way, as the right thing to do, right? So good men, the immeasurable merit and virtue created from making those offerings, when compared with the merit and virtue from a single thought of offering Dhamma, does not equal 1 part in 100, 1 part in 1,000, 1 part in 100,000 kotis of nayutas, 1 part in a kala, 1 part by reckoning, 1 part by calculation, 1 part that can be demonstrated by comparison, or 1 part in an Upanishad. None of them measure up to a single part. Why? Because all thus come ones honor the Dhamma, cultivating according to the teachings give birth to all Buddhas. If all Bodhisattvas make the offering of Dhamma, they perfect the making of offerings to all thus come ones. Cultivation in this manner is a true offering, a vast, great, and most supreme offering. So you see, if let's say, just as I've said just now, if you were to gather everybody, every single human being on this earth, all the money that we have to make an offering, it is nothing. Okay, the merit that we acquire is nothing compared to the giving of Dhamma. Okay, how do we do the giving of Dhamma? Just now I gave you a very gross kind of offering, that is just printing and distributing the Dhamma books. But if you were to act accordingly, you do things accordingly, you set an example to others on how it should be. You become a role model to those who look up to you, and they follow suit. If you were to act according to the Dharma, you think according to the Dharma, you act according to the Dharma, you speak according to the Dharma. All these things will mean that you are sharing the Dharma to all other beings around you, okay, to every single being, right? If you were to give deep respect even to this hair clip, for example, you give a deep respect to this hair clip, you are setting an example to the entire environment around yourself, to the entire, like in this room there are so many things, okay, you are respecting every single thing, because you have to remember everything around us is one with us, not many. You may think that this hair clip and you are separate entities, right? Because it looks as if it is that way, it looks as if we are not part of each other. But if you were to look at it in right, the Bodhisattva and the Buddha's way, you know that everything is one with you. Okay, in earlier Dharma talks, we have already spoken about how every single thing sparks from our thought, our first thought. Our first thought, right? The infinite, um, the light, that energy source, as I've always called it, that energy source before the first birth, okay, was just an energy source. But because that energy source consists of what we are, okay, our ignorant self, that energy source have that first spark of thought, a what, a question. Okay, the moment you have a question, that was when the ignorance starts. And just because the ignorance began, the entire universe that we see, everything just burst. Okay, some say that it's like the supernova. Okay, in science you see, oh, suddenly a star is born. Oh, suddenly they look at a microscope, then they see, boom, something just burst, and then something is formed, just like that. Okay, and it's because it is something just like this, science have difficulty understanding, because science is talking about process from A to Z, how this is, how long it is, what are the compositions of it, how all these compositions come from, and then they start building up. Even like the question about the chicken and the egg is unresolved even until today. And that day I just read something like, oh, they were very sure that the chicken came first, because you need to have a proto chicken, and then that proto chicken, because the egg has a particular kind of protein that is only unique to chickens. So suddenly you're talking about the chicken coming first, but where did the first chicken come from, right? And then if you were to say, as if you were to say that, oh, that first chicken came from a microbe, okay, so where did the microbe come from, right? The question goes on, because actually all these things is just kaboom. Your first question, the moment you have a thought, that first question in mind, it just burst into everything. Okay, something that is not easily understood by us, but it is just that way. Okay, so when you are behaving, the way you think, the way you talk, the way you move, the way you treat others, the way you do things, okay, some people call it the principles of a person's life, then you follow the Dharma. You are giving the gift of Dharma. Okay, you are following the teachings. You are, the harmlessness, the gift of truth, the gift of everything else. Okay, you set an example. You yourself, remember, you are one with everything. Everything is also one with you, which means if other people become a Buddha, you become a Buddha as well. If you become a Buddha, everyone else also becomes a Buddha. Okay, so it is just in this modern world we talk about the law of attraction. Okay, that day I just heard one of my friends in a conversation, okay, among three of us. She spoke about the law of attraction. Whatever that the people that you are looking for, then that is the people that you will attract. How you are, you attract what kind of people. That is true. Like if you have low energy, you tend to attract people with low energy. If you have high energy, you tend to attract people with high energy. Okay, that's just it. That's the law of attraction. So when we're talking about the law of attraction, you also have to look into yourself. If you see, like for example, some people they will say that, oh, this person is just so damn stupid, this person is so whatever. Okay, so when you say all that, you reflect upon yourself, you are also like that. Okay, but you have to be able to have the awareness so that you go and learn what is the lacking in you, right? So step by step you learn. You always see people who have the best knowledge are humble. Okay, people can be rich and arrogant, but people who are really wise, I'm not talking about intelligence, I'm talking about wisdom. People who are wise, you don't see them harming other people, you don't see them evil. you will see, even though their actions or their words may be sharp, may be piercing, but the actions and everything that they're doing is based on kindness. Okay, you will see that if you understand, looking at all the Buddhisms and whatever religion, there's always the good, there's always the wrath god, right? What are wrathful gods? Those are those that have good intentions. They are Buddhas or they are Bodhisattvas, but they manifest themselves as something scary. The way that they act can be something scary. The way that they speak can be booming and interrogating and is scary, right? But the intention is pure, right? The intention is only to help you so that it will lead you to the kindness, it will lead you to the goodness, right? That is the kind of dharma that we are sharing. Okay, because like the Buddha has said before, people, there are many different kinds of people. Some people, you only need to tell them, hey, this is wrong, come, let's get it right, they will follow. Okay, there are some who may need a little bit of punishment, but there are some who won't listen to you until you seriously punish them. Okay, when we talk about punishment, you have to remember one thing. Okay, this is a little bit deviated from the topic. When you think about punishment, mundane punishments over here, we're talking about people who are being sent to jail. Okay, a lot of us in this world now, when we're talking about jail time, some people think that I need to reduce my jail time because being in jail is suffering. If you committed a sin, I would rather that you suffer in jail now so that you don't need to suffer that much in hell, right? Because you have to know, if you committed a sin, for example, if you were to have killed somebody and you go to jail, right? When you go to jail or you are being convicted of murder and your punishment is by hanging, okay, by taking your life, it is just paying back your bad karma that you have created due to the act of killing, due to the act of taking away another person's life. It is to pay off. Thus, when you go to hell, your sentence is reduced because you have served a little bit over here. But if you say, no, I don't want to be in jail, you kill the person, but you deny the charges, you deny the allegations, you plead guilty, you plead innocence, and then you use a lot of these deceiving ways, right, to cheat the jury, to cheat the judges, to pretend all kinds of feigned illnesses, to say that you are unfit to serve jail time, or you are too old to serve any other sentences, that you want to just plead that kind of innocence, that you are unaware of what's happening, blah blah blah, all those things. You are again deceiving others. That adds on to the negative karma. You may be able to be released from your present um, worldly punishment. Like, for example, if you have deceived people well enough to say that you are innocent in the case of killing the person, well, okay, the law has no choice but to say that, all right, you have proven with your whatever debate that your lawyer has shown that you are not responsible for the death. Okay, you walk away happy, thinking that, oh, I can get away from this, I can get away from murder. Okay, but you have to understand, you skipped the punishment here. Okay, you skip the punishment that is due to you in this life, where you can still feel with your physical body. What's waiting for you will be more charges when you're in hell, right? So this is how it is. Okay, a lot of people, they don't understand, so that's why they want to do things that are not in according in accordance to the dharma. Okay, they deceive, they lie. Okay, and our mundane eyes could not see it. We just think that, oh, he's so lucky, got out of it. I wish that the ground would just open up and swallow him. Don't worry, Okay, don't worry about it. The ground will swallow, but in a different way, a way that we will only see for most of us after the expiry of our lives. Okay, where we are able to go down and see, oh, that's what happened to this guy. Okay, the post story. All right, but if we were to come back to this infinite lifetime sutra, come back to these 10 vows, okay, if we were to look at this in the reverse way, we act according to the Dharma, we speak according to the Dharma, the way that we think is in accordance to the Dharma. We don't harm other people, okay, we don't deceive other people, we don't try to cause anguish to other people, okay, we help people to solve their problems, we put them at ease and everything. Okay, this kind of conditions is helpful. People will feel at ease. When people are at ease, they don't feel the need to commit that evil. Okay, you're setting an example of what should have been, what they can also be. If you can do it, of course they can do it too, because you're all humans, right? What another person can achieve, you can achieve it too, because you're human. Of course, as human, you're also subjected to your karmic conditions. But karmic conditions, if you were to put an effort using Dharma towards the good, your karma will change as well. Okay, you have to realize this. Your karma will change, your conditions will change, your lifeline will also change, right? If you follow according to the Dharma, if you go against the Dharma, you commit evil and everything, your life will also change. Okay, it's not just for the good, it's also for the bad. There are two ways, it is all in your choice. Okay, predetermine and how you choose to move it on. Okay, so cultivation in this manner is a true offering. Okay, so you do it that way. Set the example. Follow the Dhamma. Set the example. When the realm of empty space is exhausted, when the realms of living beings are exhausted, when the karma of living beings is exhausted, and when the afflictions of living beings come to an end, only then will my making of offerings be exhausted. As long as there are humans, as long as this vast universe is still here. Okay, remember that boom, that sudden burst where the universe comes around. It will only end when everybody has become enlightened, everybody has become a Buddha. That is when the offerings of the Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva will end. That is also when we will also end our offerings to the entire vastness, to the entire universe's Buddhas. Okay? Just as the room of emptiness, empty space up to and including the afflictions are endless, so too are my making of offerings endless. In thought after thought, without cease, my body, mouth, and mind are never weary of these deeds. Okay, other than actually all the bodhisattvas, they make the same vow. Okay, Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva make this vow in these 10 vows, 10 great vows. One closest to us, right? One closest to us on earth is the Kshitigarbha Bodhisattva, Tijang Wangpusa. He made a vow where he will not leave hell as long as the hell is not empty. Okay, you have to remember, hell will always have beings because of the karmic conditions, and uh, as long as there is a sixth realm of existence, as long as we are still not enlightened, all these worlds will still continue to exist. And that is how long Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva will continue to make his offerings, and that is how long Kshitigarbha Bodhisattva will stay in hell to share his offerings of the Dharma. Okay, so it is 48 minutes going now, so I'm going to end today's Dharma talk. Right, we are at the third of the 10 vows of Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva, which is also leading why we are going into these 10 vows is actually part of this. We're talking about that section where we explain the bodhisattvas. Okay, earlier we have talked about the 5 great monks. Okay, now we're talking about the bodhisattvas who were present at the congregation when our Lord Gautama Buddha was addressing this infinite lifetime sutra. Okay, I won't even use a past tense for this. Past tense was actually a reference to this book itself. Okay, this Dharma talk itself as it reach our human realm. If I can have it, I will just say it as one time. Okay, at that one time when Lord Gautama Buddha was saying this, the moment you have transcended, you have entered Amitabha's pure land, you will be able to transcend the past, present, and future. You can always go back to this one time when our Lord Gautama Buddha was sharing this Dharma. You can be at the congregation, you can be right in front of him as one of the many, many bodhisattvas listening to this talk when he, Lord Gautama Buddha, shares it. Okay, all right, very metaphysical. Okay, a lot of explanations in this Dhamma talk that touches on those things that we don't understand as how we have in science today. Okay, so if you can't understand it now, don't be discouraged. Eventually you will when we deep dive and when you practice, continue practicing the Buddha Dharma. Okay, until we meet again next week for a continuation of the Infinite Lifetime Sutra, take good care and Amitabha. Bye bye.